Back to the mailbag. Today's question: what role does networking play in your sales strategy? And how do you build and maintain a professional network? Okay, so when I think about networking in a sales strategy, you got to start with the strategy as you're kind of carving it out. Who are all the players that might play in a potential situation? Yeah, I've worked in the commercial space, small business, mid-size, enterprise. I've had anywhere from 3 customers to 236, right, at any given moment. And I think when you do this, you've got to really carve out, okay, who are the key players that I'm going to need in the boat with me? But part of that's from a customer perspective, right? Some of it's from an internal colleague perspective. And then there's also external vendors and partners and things of that stature. Sometimes there's even competitors. Where can I go out and create mutually beneficial relationships? Where can I introduce customers to customers? How can I be a value add for everybody I touch? And those are some of the key areas that I try to explore. Now, when you're doing that, so you're carving out and you're looking at your business and you're trying to figure out, okay, I've got this solution. This is the title I'm going to need to go out and create a relationship with. Networking is critical. I've spent a career leveraging what has been known as social selling to go out and create relationships on LinkedIn and through just different outreach, video outreach, email outreach with different lines of business in organizations. But it's all about showing up with what's going to resonate with them. What's the message that I can deliver, whether it's in LinkedIn or email? You can focus on 3 things. You can control 3 things: the quality of message, quantity of outreach, and consistency of execution. I'm always prospecting. I'm always networking constantly. Every day I build in prospecting into my time. So part of it is being very intentional and actually scheduling the time. Jeb Blunt calls it the sacred prospecting hour. You've got to make sure that you're focused on that. But you also don't want to discriminate against any possible sources of networking. Look, if a partner or a vendor has a better relationship with a customer than I do, then my job isn't creating the relationship with the customer. It's how do I double down and help this partner or vendor win? And if there's a blocker, a lot of times I've heard, hey, this partner has the relationship and they won't talk to us. How can I show up in a way that's going to help that partner? I'll reach out to the partner and say, look, how can I help you win? Even if I'm a fly in the room, or I'm trying to unlock ways that we can invest in you winning, or is there any other relationship that I can bring to bear that helps you win? That becomes my target, as opposed to going over here and trying to focus on taking the relationship or stealing the relationship, or going at it solo like a lone wolf. We're better together every time. And so networking in your sales strategy there looks like finding the person that has the right relationship. Because remember, you're trying to earn the right to be the trusted advisor for your customer. And sometimes that isn't necessarily I'm the right answer, I have all the responses. It's let me empower and enable this partner or vendor to do better. Or it might be, hey, I'm not the right fit, but let me introduce my friend at the competition. And maybe I go out and I create a relationship over here. I've had situations in the past where I've created symbiotic relationships with vendors and with competition to say, hey, I can't take care of this need, so I'll send this need to you. Would love it if you send this need that you can't take care of to me. And a lot of times it looks like me investing more in that strategy. You've got to give to get. So you almost do that without any expectation of reciprocation, right? You've got to just keep investing, and you do that enough, it'll bear fruit. So what role networking plays in your sales strategy? It's everything. Going out and creating relationships. I've had organizations where I've reached out to over 500 director and above in those organizations on LinkedIn to get meetings, and just happen to get into the right rooms of the organization, the right C-levels. I knew all the major players, and so it put me in a position to win. I've managed to kind of create a groundswell of influence thanks to networking. And while there was a 2-year sales cycle, it was a very competitive scenario, and we won a considerable amount of business through that one organization. Furthermore, how do you build and maintain a professional network? I always think about The building is just being intentional about going out and creating these relationships. But it's also about, what are we doing to go out and add value for each of these folks? How are we, showing up and saying things that are valuable to these people? How are we showing up with a perspective that matters? Creating, I leverage my LinkedIn to often contribute and add things that I know will be top of mind for my audience. I might send articles or even subscribe, to the same things that they're subscribed to, join the same groups that they're in, so that I can continue to do things that maybe stay top of mind. Because a lot of what I do is passive education. I've over time built my own webinar series. I've built my own newsletter series. And I'll go out and I'll find any marketing lead that's opted in, or I'll leverage tools like LinkedIn and email to engage people meaningfully. And it's more of a passive education. But then I've absolutely got deals that I can point to that happened as a result. Show up with value. Seek to serve. I think that's what you ultimately want to infuse into your networking strategy. Networking is everything in sales. It's all about relationships. But you also don't want to and can't sound and look like everybody else that's reaching out. You got to realize that your CEO target or your COO target, thousands of other people are reaching out to them with messages that sound just about the same all day, every day. And so you want to stand out from the crowd, differentiate yourself, actually look to add value. And what's amazing now is, you can do these things at scale. I mean, with the ability to look at somebody's LinkedIn profile or their website and their About Us, you can, their company reports, or subscribing to newsletters, doing email alerts, subscribe to email alerts for that organization, just subscribe to every industry trade magazine, follow them on Sales Navigator. You'll see when there's merger and acquisition, when there's new leaders. You can follow these things that will tell you, they'll give you signals on when you should be reaching out, when you should be showing up to add value, who you should be showing up with. These things all give you a higher probability and propensity for forming positive, valuable relationships. So the thing of the matter is while you can control quality, quantity, and consistency, you can also control what signals you're setting yourself up to get so that you can have the right foundation for success with all of your networking, and you can continue to build and invest in your professional network. Seek to serve, be consistent, and always invest in people and relationships. That's how networking can be integral to your sales strategy. I've made an entire career off of it.